right, next up on KCRW, some live music from our studios joining us this morning in support of their most recent album, Freedom is Free, and ahead of our free Summer Nights concert event in Old Pasadena tomorrow night. It is a pleasure to welcome back Chicano Batman.
Connecting glance. Life is just a jaded game. To them, they won't give it a chance. But you know, and I know, that the galaxies are all around us. And life will flow on as long as the grass grows and the water runs. Because the ocean is all around us, and life will flow on as long as there are ripples in the waves and the sun rays from the sun. And while I'm here on earth, I'll rejoice in its word, 'cause freedom is free. Yeah, that song right there is called Freedom is Free. This next track is called Friendship. It's a small boat in a storm. You've got an open heart, so you share what's inside, thinking that all is said in confidence. But then you realize play your part. You're along for the ride, thinking that all is said in confidence, but then you realize
Friendship is a small boat in the storm.
swimming in the sea.
Friendship is a small boat in the storm.
Floundering desperately.
Friendship is a small boat in the storm.
Trying to get a grip on my
Friendship is a
emotions.
small boat in the storm.
I'm falling apart.
La otra noche fue una noche muy terrible. Balacearon a un amigo mío en la calle cerca de aquí. Lo dejaron abandonado, un objeto sin vida junto en la esquina. Yo no entiendo por qué los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes. Los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes. Ahora mi amigo no vive más. La jura llegó, lo mató y se acabó. ¿Qué culpa tenía si él solo fue un niño feliz? Ay, Dios, ya no respirará jamás. Yo no entiendo por qué los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes. Los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes. Yo no entiendo por qué los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes. Los que deben proteger hacen lo opuesto, matan inocentes.
Chicano Batman live on KCRW here in support of their most recent album, Freedom is Free. And so is our KCRW show in Old Pasadena tomorrow night at 1 Colorado featuring Chicano Batman live. How you doing, guys? Welcome back.
What's up, Jason?
Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you. So, hey, first of all, thank you for playing that show for us tomorrow night. That is going to be lit. I think that's what the kids say nowadays, right? Lit?
Lit AF, I believe.
It's going to be lit AF for sure. So everybody out there who's thinking of coming, do get there early because I think we're going to hit capacity in that space. But you can also check out KCRW's Twitter feed for updates maybe before you leave the house. That's just my advice. So, guys, last time I saw you perform live was earlier this year at Coachella. I also had a chance to speak with you at that time. And I just want to say, I was hosting the webcast, and so I interviewed you, and over 3 days, I spoke to probably 35 different artists. And what I want to point out is that you were really the only group that I spoke with who was really saying something about the world we live in today and politics and social justice. And looking back at it, I just thought that was so remarkable that I could speak with so many different people. And then it's really only one band that wants to be outspoken. And that's something that I really appreciate and I really respect about you guys.
I'll say one thing, just real quick. So, remember that conversation you asked me? Hey, what does freedom? Freedom is free. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's such a difficult. I mean, that's a pretty blatant question. You said it so straightforward, and I thought about it last night.
Yeah.
Well, me and you and everybody here and everybody listening, we all come from the same place. We're all made of the same elements, like the elements that run in a river, the elements that are in the ocean, right? And then you have a system, right? So we're all essentially all that is free. Isn't it? Aren't the elements, everything in nature, it's free, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there wasn't a price tag 2 million years ago. So that's a new development. And so what I'm trying to tell you, Jason, is that that's what freedom is free means. You know, that price tag that was put in, it's a recent development, and it wasn't always there. And it's just like, somebody created this keyboard, right? And it's, been around since 1970, but the mountains, wow, those guys been around for eons. You know what I'm saying? And so that's something to really appreciate and to really take hold of, that the world is way bigger than capitalism, way bigger than the US of A, so that's really what, it's kind of like a humbling type of thing when you look at the world from that perspective.
So the idea of freedom for you is more than the institutions, society, but it seems like it also has to do with spirituality and nature and the universe.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, what is reality to us? We could see reality as the dollar that's in our pockets, right? But that's so superficial. That's some ink on a piece of paper. And we all know that everything is a lot deeper than that, and reality is so much deeper and is just as real, as way more real than a dollar sign.
Talk about songwriting for you and how in songwriting you strike a balance between art and activism and really inspiring people.
Well, I think, we have, like 3 or 4 albums now in EPs, et cetera. And, we started off just making songs, love songs, whatever inspires you. It's like, it really, the topic could be any topic, just like, the variation of your day. Right, you wake up in the morning, you experience something as you drive, you experience something as you have lunch, you experience something as you go to bed. So songwriting is the same thing. You could listen to any artist, classic artists like the Beatles, for example, and the platter runs the gamut.
Yeah.
And so
expression. It's just
that's what we're trying to do as Chicano Batman. Give you guys provide a platter, a nice platter.
Well, tell me about that last song in the set that you just performed.
The last song is called La Jura, and that song is kind of just, it's a nice little romantic ballad that we wanted to juxtapose with having some lyrics that talk about some police brutality, because now it's at its peak in terms of popularity or notoriety, but it's always been around. I mean, Rodney King we didn't have to film that to know that police brutality has been happening in this country for hundreds of years. So now, I mean, it's at a point where it's at a international level of inhumane crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids are dying at the hands of police officers of authority, and no one's getting accused of anything. So as artists, I mean, we'll talk about, what I had after my cereal when I saw that bird fly off the nest, right? And what that means in terms of wrapping that around to our living experience. But our living experience is also turning on the TV and getting desensitized by all this violence, and no one's doing anything about it. So big props to the Black Lives Matter movement and everybody else mobilizing around issues that really affect families all across the country.
What do you guys do, at shows or the kinds of festivals that you play? I think back seeing you at Coachella. The roots of Coachella are things like, Woodstock and the 60 generation, where activism, consciousness were really very much a part of that gathering at that time. And I would hope that that still rings true today at events like Coachella, that there's that sort of open-mindedness to understand one another and take something away from that experience. But are there things that you do at your shows, whether it's involving causes or nonprofits or bringing awareness to different things at your shows?
I don't think intentionally. I mean, I think we're just doing what we're doing. We've been doing it for now like 10 years, you know, and I think now we're talking about some more issues in our music, and it's a great thing because a lot of organizations want to align themselves with music, you know,
Yeah.
and music transcends more than politicians' words, you know, and their promises. And I think sometimes when you just ride on a vibration, harmony and rhythm, then someone's message will be carried 10 times further.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are now identifying with what we're doing, what we represent in this country right now. And it's a beautiful thing for us to marry those two things, because music is a platform for other things. It's a platform to talk about real things. You know, I mean, everybody can take music as their own platform for something, but I mean, it's great to talk about sincere things when we're playing music.
I think what we need nowadays, I think as musicians, we could provide some ammunition for your daily life. You know, give you inspiration. We can give you hope.
Definitely. Tell me about this record cover, which I only just saw. You know, nowadays we get digital files and things, and you only see, you know, the actual vinyl release maybe a little later on. This is a beautiful record cover, but tell me about
Thank you
this.
so much.
Yeah, you designed this.
I did design it. It's just kind of like a collage. Obviously, it's a collage, right? There's different elements going on. It's kind of like a synthesis of different songs, and I took "Freedom is Free" as the thesis of, or for that design, you know, and everything that means, you know. And so it's just kind of like the woman in the middle encapsulates, you know, just everything beautiful, everything indigenous, everything native, you know what I mean? And like untouched, like a newborn baby. You know?
And
Unhinged.
she's rising out of. You see, it's Los Angeles, the skyline in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, you have the city below us. We live in a city, right? We're surrounded by political situations where, you know, there's wars going on, but there's like we were talking about earlier, you know, the truth of the universe, the truth of you know, eternity, and, you know, the fact that that is the reality, that is something that we live in, and we lose ourselves in those political situations and just listening to news and, you know, and surrounded by facts, and there's a million facts in our heads, but all those facts really don't matter because it's just there's sound bites that are there to you know, they're like notes for corporations, you know. They tell you to buy this and that, and you know, the only life we have is the heart that beats inside of us, you know. We live and then we die. That's our reality, and that's the reality of everything in nature. So if our minds are not like rolling with that, then we're not really living.
Well, we appreciate that you give us, you know, a different narrative from these monitors, these screens that are beaming 24-hour.
Hopefully, you make some sense of that. Hopefully, that makes sense to you a little bit, Jason.
Well, having the conversation through art is important, and that's what I appreciate about Chicano Batman.
We appreciate you, Jason.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey, another thing I really love about your band is everybody has a voice. You know, I noticed every time I've spoken to the group, it's like everybody chimes in. It feels like it's a very, you know, democratic system, very egalitarian
Definitely.
system
Man,
there.
you should talk to Gabriel, this guy behind this glass, this drummer. So much experience.
Really?
This guy is like he went to France. He's from Colombia, right? He lived in France for 5 years. He's international, bro. He speaks to you in 10 languages.
He's a rhythm machine.
Okay. We will chat after the session as we get into your second set. Hey, I also want to mention, besides the free show, the KCRW show tomorrow night, you guys are playing the Fonda September 22nd, but it looks like this is already sold out, this show. So
the show sold out in 2 days. Two nights sold out.
That's nice. That's nice. All right. So
Thank you, LA.
we do have tickets. Is the good news. Even though it's sold out, we'll have tickets for our KCRW members to win, along with vinyl copies of the new album "Freedom Is Free." Our guest in studio this morning on MBE, Chicano Batman.
driving in my car upon this crowded star. It's been my longest night under this full moonlight. Yes, our brother sun begins to rise. The New Year's fest, it's almost dawn. My present situation is this song. It turns my life into a real as I sit back and watch it play. The clock it ticks, it never stops, melting memories into teardrops, shedding my past life, loves, and everlasting pain and joy. And I'm in the future now, with feet on the earth and hands on the branches that I climb, within the waves that carry me. And now I'm sinking deep into her soul, like floating in the ocean we breathe to control the rhythm of our place in time, in cycles of existential rhyme. Yeah. I'm in the future now, with feet on the earth and hands on the branches that I climb, within the waves that carry me. And now I'm sinking deep into a soul, like floating in the ocean we breathe to control the rhythm of our place in time, in cycles of existential.
That was called Cycles of Existential Rhyme off of our second album.
when I sit down. Ain't you moon, ain't you lights, ain't you focal point of sight. Makes me feel alright. I'm not gonna lie, I need to reach the sky. But before I reach my high, my mind's eye has got to be clear. Whoa. And I walk, and I breathe, and I pray. And I pray, and I run, run, run. Yes, I walk, and I breathe, and I pray, and I run, 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 run. Yes, I'm on my way. Yeah, I run. Yes, I'm on my way. Now the time has come to move my legs and run. Yeah, run and run and run and run. Yo, yes, I run and run and run and run. Now I feel the energy of the universe. And I'll roll with it forever. Yeah, to put it simply, I'm on my way. And now I'm elevating higher. My footsteps are finding a groove all on their own. I'm communing with the fire. I'm free. My mind has shown its place, its path. I've embraced its breath. I'm moving faster. My heart is stronger. The soul is brighter. I'm warm. I blaze its path. I put aside my own wrath. I'm finally at peace. I blaze its path. I've embraced its wrath. I'm moving faster. My heart is stronger. The soul is brighter. I'm warm. I blaze its path. I put aside my own wrath. I'm finally at peace. I'm finally at
kind of a surreal experience to be here. KCRW. We all grew up listening to this station. A lot of the bands we have access to is because of shows like this. And much thanks to the city of LA, definitely, for supporting us all these years. Had a cult following for a lot of years, you know, and that cult following started snowballing. And then, you know, with the stuff like the Fonda Theater, and we're playing FYF and Coachella, it's can only give thanks to the people because it's because of them that we're here. And so we don't forget them, man. So shout out to all the people in LA.
You're my bumble of beauty and light, darling. You're my lifeline of youth in my sight. You're my daughter.
You're my angel. You're my angel. You're my angel child. You're my angel. You're my angel child.
You're so wild and free, just like the unspoken word.